Would you be opposed to a statue in a public place that had an exposed woman's breast on it?
Yeah, I think it's harmful. It's just like pornography.
Okay, where are we here, sir?
London, Hyde Park,
Speakers?
corner.
Excellent. Some books should be banned. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, move. And you're choosing to remain on neutral?
Yep.
Okay. Why do you strongly disagree that some books should be banned?
Because we know from history when you start banning some, you ban others as well.
Why do you agree with what he said?
I agree with what he said, and I fully believe that we should have books available, and folks can, if they're educated, can learn from them, and they can disagree with them, they can agree with them, and the book should not be banned.
Okay. Why didn't you move? Tell them.
Because I believe you shouldn't have pornography in schools, for example, for kids. And so we've got a sense of responsibility. We in the West, we focus too much on freedom, the right to do things, but we don't think about our responsibility towards other people. So,
do you think pornography should be banned?
It should be banned, yes, because it's just like drugs are banned. Pornography is a drug of sorts.
Do you think pornography should be banned?
No.
Well, tell him why not.
I don't think pornography should be banned. I think that we should educate people enough about what is worthwhile and about what expands their mind and helps them grow, and not ban the pornography, because then when you ban it, then you have to also decide what it is, and that's where we get into problems.
So we should educate people, but like in most civilized countries, we ban things that are harmful to people. So we don't allow little children to have cigarettes and drugs and things for a reason. So we should have a bit of both. But I do believe in the government deciding what it is. And if we have good government, if we have good people, we have good governments, and good governments make good choices. That's how I see it.
What's the harm in an adult, maybe a lonely male, looking at pornography and pleasuring himself?
Because it breaks down marriages. Because what happens is when you look at pornography, you look at a whole array of different people, different body parts, and in your mind you collect them all together and you go, that person is better than my wife, and statistically it breaks down marriages. So I'm not about stopping people from living their lives, but I'm about happier people, happier marriages, happier societies. And
what if someone doesn't want to get married? Should they have the right to look at pornography?
People have the right to do whatever they want, right? But in a society, we collectively decide what's good for everybody. And I think we underestimate our individual choices in relation to society. In the West, we're very selfish and individualistic. We always think about freedoms. We should be thinking about responsibilities.
I would like to respond to his comment about the children, and children have parents, and when they go to school, their teachers are in loco parentis, means in place of parents. They're educators who can deem, they've been trained, teacher training, they can deem what's appropriate to be in the curriculum, what is not appropriate, and the parents can do the same. Many parents, for instance, do want to teach their children about sex and about sexuality. Some parents do not want to, and so in the schools, they also have to make decisions about that.
Let me ask you, so it seems to me, and if I'm mischaracterizing this, tell me, that the issue is not in schools. The issue is he wants to ban pornography, period. So the whole school thing is a red herring.
Okay, I thought I heard him say something about children, but no.
He did, but he wants it banned independently of children.
I disagree with that. I disagree. In fact, we had some folks that banned in one school system. They banned the art teacher from showing the statue of David. Now, that is not.
Well, let me ask him. Do you know the statue of David?
I haven't seen it. I've seen a Star of David, but I don't know about the statue of David. Never heard of it.
Would you be opposed to a statue in a public place that had an exposed woman's breast on it?
Yeah, I think it's harmful. It's just like pornography. So I would be opposed to it, but I wouldn't go and graffiti it out of my own choice. I would work with the government and do the long, hard work of building communities and better relationships with governments and things like that, which is a lot of hard work and you have to have patience. But I wouldn't graffiti anything, like people do with Churchill's statues
Right.
and things like that.
So if a statue in which a woman had a breast exposed to the public, you think that should be made illegal?
Yeah, I would say even women, like, I think it's somewhat illegal for women to go around naked as well, right? Or, even men to go naked without pants on.
Do you think it should be illegal for women to walk around and not have their head covered?
I would say that's a better situation, but at the same time, it's got to be the choice of the country. Nobody should be forced. So I'm a Muslim. You can maybe guess that, and all my perspectives are a Muslim perspective. And we are we're interested in community rather than just the individual. And the individual should be interested in serving the community because you're happier when you're working together. But I don't believe in forcing. So Islam says there's no compulsion in religion. So we try to get a society that works better together. That's the idea.
Okay. How would you feel if the government told you had to cover your head?
Oh, I've looked at these women that have to do that, and I would really resent that.
Why would you resent that?
I get hot. You see, I've wet my shirt even because I get hot.
Would you be willing to compromise and cover your head to make people happy half of the year when it's cold, and in the summer you wouldn't have to cover your head?
No, if I want a bare head, I want a bare head. No, I would reject that.
That's not a reasonable compromise.
I'm not going to compromise with what I do with my head. No.
What would a compromise be for you?
I want people to make their own choices, first of all. And I do happiness classes here. Could I plug my website? Just very simple.
Go ahead.
Bigquestionsanswered.com, where I talk about all these things. And people are misunderstanding that covering your hair is some sort of sacrifice. It's actually, psychologists have done studies of not just Muslims, but all different religions. People who are religious, who are more modest, have less body image issues, a massive problem in this country. So it's just a choice.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to ask her.
I
Would you cover your head if you knew you'd have fewer body issues?
I don't think I have body issues, but I would like to say that I do defend a woman's choice if they're a Muslim woman that won't. Not all Muslim women cover their heads, right? But some do. That's their choice. That's their choice. So I do defend the choice of Muslim women to cover their heads or not.
You do? Do you think Muslim women should have that choice?
Yeah, like when I got married, I wasn't so interested in my wife covering her hair, but she was the one who wanted to cover her hair, right? So it's a bit like, Westerners sometimes have they think that they have the moral high stand, and they believe that everybody else is, forced into things. Like Muslim women are forced into wearing headscarves and things, which is a bit of a prejudice.
So if a woman was married to a man in this country and they were Muslims and she didn't want to wear a headscarf, you don't think she'd have to wear one?
I think when you go into a marriage, you make a choice, like who you want to marry, and
so should she have to wear one? Her husband wants her to wear one. She doesn't want to wear one.
If she changes her mind, then that's her choice. That's Islam says there's no compulsion in religion.
So she shouldn't have to wear a headscarf.
She shouldn't have to wear it, no.
I want to tell you how I agree with him now.
Okay.
All right. So my husband and I were walking yesterday. It was very hot yesterday. The first hot day we've had in London.
My head is covered.
Yeah, his head.
Right.
But he was walking yesterday. He saw another man walking that had his shirt off. And he said, well, I could take my shirt off because it's so hot. I said, yes, you can, because you're a man.
Right.
So we discriminate as well. I could not take my shirt off.
For legal reasons. Although we saw a naked bus ride the other day. People were riding naked around London on a
I don't know.
bike ride, sorry.
I think if a man is able to whip his shirt off, a woman should be able to whip her shirt off too.
Should a woman be able to whip her shirt off?
So Islam and many religions have the wisdom to realize men and women are different, and we're very confused nowadays thinking men and women are the same. So it's not really about oppressing people, it's about treating people according to who they are. And I would say Muslim women are much happier than Western women, because you can see generally in the West, depression is at the highest levels and is skyrocketing, because we don't understand how we actually function in the mind.
So should a woman have a right to whip off her shirt and walk down the street?
I would say in a civilized country, no. because we agree together on what works as society. So, yeah, sure, in theory, a man should have the right to whip off his pants, right? Okay, in public, and ruin a family outing for everybody and little children who are going past. But if we care about I'm more interested in responsibility rather than just rights. And this is what psychologists like Viktor Frankl talk about. He says he's a famous psychologist on happiness, and he says he wishes there wasn't just a Statue of Liberty, but a statue of responsibility, and that's what we need. That's what we in the West have lost, and that's why we're so depressed.
Okay, let me ask you a question. We started saying some books should be banned. Do you believe Salman, and you're on the neutral line, do you believe Salman Rushdie's book should be banned?
Not particularly. I thought the Muslim response many years ago, I think it was the 90s or 80s, 90s, right, was not very intelligent. I'm an Ahmadi Muslim. We always respond in terms, we have an idea of love for all and hatred for none, and we believe that we shouldn't force anybody, and we always believe in intellectual discussion. And it's very easy to beat his book. His book was full of like frivolous arguments that were easy to destroy. There's no need to, you're giving, the Muslims were actually supporting him in many ways by saying as if his arguments were strong by, burning his books and things like that and giving him attention that he didn't need. His book was useless.
So you're a minister?
Yes.
And you believe Jesus Christ is the Son of God?
No.
It's an interesting, you're Unitarian.
Yes.
So you're a minister, but you don't believe Jesus Christ is the Son of God?
No, I'm not a Christian.
You're not a Christian?
Unitarian Universalism has, we have no creed, so we do have some Christians, about 5% within our congregations, but we have Buddhists, we have agnostics, atheists. We don't say what you have to.
So it's like a community.
It's a community of love. We lift up love. We lift up inclusion. We have values.
Inclusion. Do you answer this question with a yes or no? Do you think she's going to go to hell?
I think I don't believe in yes or no answers, but she can go to heaven because God decides according to Islam. So some Muslims think that.
So let's say she never adopts anything from Islam and she just doesn't think it's true. Is she going to go to hell? First
of all, there's two things. God is the master in Islamic ideas, so he decides who goes to heaven and hell. And also in the Quran it says, whoever you are, God will give you the best of your deeds, reward you for the best of your deeds. And a lot of Muslims, unfortunately, they like to say that only Muslims will go to heaven, unfortunately, like Christians do and some Jews do. But that's incorrect because it's not logical. Because imagine you never heard of the true message of Islam, for example, in theory, right, and you didn't understand it, then how could God punish you for that? So I don't know if that answers your question, but I think it's very simple. God is logical and reasonable and loves all his creation.
All right. I think we're good, Reed. Thank you for participating. We appreciate your time. Thank you very much.